It all began with a search along the banks of the Vaigai River in Tamil Nadu. For years, historians and archaeologists suspected that the rich descriptions of urban life in ancient Sangam literature must have a basis in reality. The poems spoke of bustling cities, trade, and a sophisticated society, yet the physical evidence remained elusive. The Archaeological Survey of India, or ASI, started a major exploration project, meticulously surveying the river basin. In 2014, near a small village called Kiladi in the Sivaganga district, they finally struck gold. What they found was not just a few scattered artifacts, but the unmistakable signs of a large, well-organized human settlement buried just a few feet beneath the coconut groves. This was a moment of profound significance, promising to fill a major gap in the story of ancient India. The initial discovery was just the tip of the iceberg, sparking immense excitement and curiosity. The site, sprawling over more than 110 acres, was far larger than anyone had anticipated. Led by archaeologist K. Amarnath Ramakrishna, the ASI team began systematic excavations. As they carefully removed layers of soil, a picture of a lost world started to emerge. They uncovered the foundations of brick structures, terracotta ring wells, and well-laid-out drainage systems. This was not a simple rural village. It was the blueprint of an ancient city. The discovery immediately drew national and even international attention, as it promised to be the first major urban center from the Sangam period ever found, providing tangible proof for the literary traditions that had been cherished for centuries. The location itself is incredibly important. The Vaigai River has been the lifeline of this region for millennia, and it is frequently mentioned in Sangam poetry as the cradle of the Pandya kingdom, with its legendary capital, Madurai. Finding such a significant settlement right on its banks created a direct link between the literary past and the archaeological present. It suggested that the stories of great cities were not mere poetic fancy, but a reflection of a lived reality. This connection to the ancient Tamil epics and poems is what makes Kiladi so special. It feels like uncovering a chapter of a book that everyone knew existed, but had never been able to physically touch or see before, bringing history to life in a tangible way. The news of Kiladi spread like wildfire, capturing the imagination of the public, especially in Tamil Nadu. It became more than just an archaeological dig. It transformed into a symbol of cultural heritage and ancient pride. People began visiting the site, eager to witness the unearthing of their history. The discovery resonated deeply because it challenged the long-held narrative that significant urbanization in ancient India was confined to the northern plains of the Indus and Ganges rivers. Suddenly, the South had its own compelling story of an ancient urban civilization, one that was emerging from the earth and demanding its rightful place in the annals of Indian history. The initial excitement was just the beginning of a long and complex journey of discovery and debate. The excavations at Kiladi have yielded a stunning array of artifacts that paint a vivid picture of a thriving society. Archaeologists have unearthed more than just buildings. They have found the everyday objects that tell the story of the people who lived there. Among the most significant finds are thousands of pottery shards, many of which are inscribed with names and symbols in the Tamil Brahmi script. This discovery provides powerful evidence of a literate society, where ordinary people, not just kings or priests, could read and write. The presence of such widespread literacy in a very early period is a crucial indicator of a highly developed culture, suggesting a population that was educated and engaged in complex social and economic activities. Beyond the evidence of literacy, the artifacts reveal a hub of industrial activity and skilled craftsmanship. Numerous terracotta spindle whorls and weaving implements point to a flourishing textile industry, confirming literary accounts of fine fabrics being produced in the region. Equally impressive are the vast quantities of beads made from glass, terracotta, and semi-precious stones like carnelian, agate, and quartz. Some of these materials, like carnelian, would have been sourced from as far away as Gujarat, indicating that Kiladi was part of a long-distance trade network. The craftsmanship of these beads, along with intricately carved ivory dice and combs, showcases a society that valued aesthetics and had the specialized skills to produce high-quality luxury goods. What sets Kiladi apart from other famous ancient Indian sites like Harappa or Mohenjo-daro is its distinct cultural signature. While the Indus Valley civilization is known for its unique seals and monumental public buildings, Kiladi reveals a different kind of urbanism. The focus here seems to be on industrial production and trade within a well-planned settlement. The structures are made of baked bricks, and the city features advanced water management with its terracotta ring wells and drainage channels. However, a key talking point has been the apparent absence of large religious structures or definitive idol worship, leading some to characterize it as a secular or trade-focused society, a feature that distinguishes it from many other contemporary ancient cities around the world. The sheer volume and variety of the findings are what make Kiladi a game-changer. It is not just one or two isolated objects, but a complete assemblage that allows us to reconstruct the life of an ancient Tamil city. From the tools of a weaver to the ornaments of a wealthy citizen, from the toys of a child to the pots of a scribe, each artifact is a piece of the puzzle. Together, they show us a society that was literate, industrialized, connected through trade, and possessed a sophisticated material culture. This wealth of evidence provides a solid foundation for the claims of an advanced civilization, moving the discussion about the Sangam era from the realm of literature into the world of verifiable archaeological fact. One of the most contentious issues surrounding Kiladi is its age. Initial estimates place the site around the 3rd century BCE, aligning it with the Mauryan period. However, a later report from the Tamil Nadu State Department of Archaeology, based on carbon dating of samples sent to a lab in Florida, pushed the timeline back significantly. This report suggested that the lowest layers of the settlement dated to as early as the 6th century BCE. This revised dating is profoundly important because it would make the urbanization on the banks of the Vaigai contemporaneous with the rise of cities in the Gangetic Plains. It directly challenges the idea that urban development spread from north to south, suggesting parallel developments instead. This new timeline, however, has not been universally accepted and has become a focal point of intense debate. Skeptics and some archaeologists argue that more evidence is needed to conclusively prove the 6th century BCE date. They point out that scientific rigor demands multiple cross-verified tests and that a single report, however significant, should be treated with caution until it is supported by further findings. The controversy was amplified by administrative actions, including the transfer of the lead archaeologist K. Amarnath Ramakrishna, which his supporters claimed was an attempt to downplay the site's significance. This has fueled a narrative of a political struggle over the control of India's historical story, turning a scientific debate into a public controversy. The dating debate is closely tied to a larger ideological battle over Kiladi's identity. One prominent school of thought, particularly strong in Tamil Nadu, interprets the findings as proof of a unique and independent Tamil civilization. Proponents of this view highlight the distinct pottery styles, the Tamil Brahmi script, and the apparent lack of Vedic religious symbols to argue that Kiladi represents a secular, non-Sanskritic Dravidian culture that developed separately from the rest of India. This perspective is often linked to modern Tamil cultural and political movements, which see Kiladi as a validation of a distinct and ancient heritage that predates influences from the north. This narrative has gained significant traction in popular media and public discourse. Conversely, another group of historians and scholars argues for a more integrated view, seeing Kiladi as part of a broader pan-Indian civilizational continuum. They contend that the absence of temples does not prove the absence of religion, as Sangam literature itself is rich with references to gods and rituals, including some with Vedic parallels. They also point to artifacts like the carnelian beads from Gujarat as clear evidence of trade and cultural exchange with northern and western India. From this perspective, Kiladi is not an isolated civilization, but a vital southern hub within a network of interconnected cultures that made up ancient India. This viewpoint suggests that regional distinctions existed within a shared subcontinental framework, rather than in complete isolation. The ongoing discoveries at Kiladi are not just an academic exercise. They have profound implications for how we understand India's past. For decades, the historical narrative has been dominated by the Indus Valley civilization and the subsequent urban centers of the Gangetic Plain. Kiladi fundamentally disrupts this north-centric view by providing robust evidence of a sophisticated, literate, and industrialized urban culture in the far south. It suggests that the story of Indian civilization is more complex and diverse than previously thought, with multiple centers of development. This forces a re-evaluation of old theories and promises to add a rich new chapter to our history books, one that gives the Tamil country its due as a major cradle of early Indian urbanism. This rewriting of history has resonated powerfully with the public, sparking a massive surge in cultural pride, particularly among Tamil people across the world. Kiladi has become a powerful symbol of the antiquity and achievements of their ancestors. The evidence of a literate society from over 2,500 years ago, using a form of the Tamil script, is a source of immense pride and validates the deep historical consciousness embedded in the region's literature and traditions. The establishment of an on-site museum and the widespread media coverage have transformed Kiladi from a remote archaeological dig into a site of cultural pilgrimage, a place where people can connect directly with a past they had previously only read about in poems. The intense media and political interest in Kiladi ensures that it remains a constant topic of conversation. Every new discovery, every new report, is scrutinized and debated, not just in academic journals, but on social media and in political rallies. This attention is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it ensures that the excavations receive funding and public support, driving further research. On the other hand, it risks politicizing the scientific process, where interpretations can be shaped by ideology rather than evidence alone. The story of Kiladi has thus become a flashpoint for broader discussions about regional identity, federalism, and the very idea of what constitutes Indian history and culture in the 21st century. Ultimately, the true importance of Kiladi lies in its potential to foster a more inclusive and nuanced understanding of our collective past. As excavations continue, not just at Kiladi but at nearby sites like Adichanallur and Sivakalai, the picture will only become clearer. Whether it is seen as a completely separate civilization or a unique regional expression of a pan-Indian culture, Kiladi has irrevocably changed the map of ancient India. It reminds us that history is not a static story set in stone, but a dynamic field of discovery that is constantly evolving. And in that process of discovery, it gives millions of people a deeper, more tangible connection to their heritage and a renewed sense of pride in their ancient roots.